Hi, my name is Dayan van der Westhuizen and I play prop for the Vodacom Bulls.
Welkom Dayan.
Hallo Mac.
Gaat het goed?
Goed en met jou?
Rustig man. The last time I saw you was on the field and you're pushing hard, which is basically what you do, right?
Yeah, that's every day's life.
I should ask you right now, and I guess a lot of people, it's locked down, and surely, I mean, you know, a lot of rugby players, you guys, you're off the field, now you're back on the field. How has lockdown been treating you so far?
Lockdown has actually been good for me because I've been studying. I'm studying, so I have gotten a lot of free time actually to attend to my studies. But on the rugby and on the rugby aspect, it's been tough because you have limited space to work, and some guys like was 2 weeks in quarantine, and it's all those factors that makes a big difference at the end of the day, which make it really hard.
What do you miss mostly about being on the field?
Mac, what I really miss on the field is like just smashing oaks and just you know, that feeling, that adrenaline pumping through your veins, and just enjoying every moment, and actually giving what the fans what they came for to the rugby field, and I really miss it though.
Now, taking you back, when did you actually move to Pretoria?
Max, so I moved in 2010, and I attended school, Hoërskool Waterkloof, and then moved to Hoërskool Centurion, where I finished my matric. It was a tough decision to make at 16. Covering that amount of distance.
So you came alone basically.
I came alone.
You packed the bag. It's like I got no pitoka to a track. You got those.
Yes. So that was actually, I remember the day actually like yesterday where we drove, and it was just scary. Like, you know, it's just like coming from a small place to the big city. It's really challenging, and it's really scary actually if you come from a small town like Wellington.
Now, in fact, I like the fact that you mentioned that you come from Wellington. The influence behind every single province, every single town, there's always that peer pressure kind of influence. What blinded you from that street influence to keep you focused in what you have become today?
Yeah, so first things, I must give credit to my mother and my father. My whole family, basically, they really were a good support network and really kept me focused on what I wanted to achieve. And so they always supported me, came to every rugby game, even hockey, soccer. They really supported me, and I think they told me from a young age that I can reach my goals if I work hard, and that kept me motivated to keep going and to stay away from the negative street stuff and that is out there, because it's easy to fall into that type of trap. And I must give credit to my mom and my dad, like just keeping me strong, man.
So now later in life, here you're growing up. And obviously, at the end van die dag, jy moet iemand ontmoet in jou lewe. And then, before you met this person, daar was 'n tyd in jou lewe where you went through rough patches. What triggered those emotions and phases that you experienced?
Mac, I must say when I came up from Wellington to Pretoria, it was more like I was on my own a bit. You understand? The speaking to your mom is not that easy. So for me, dealing with adversity at that age, where maybe you weren't getting picked for teams, maybe because the coach maybe didn't like you, or he wasn't like truthful with you. That type of stuff was really hard for me to deal with, and I really struggled with that. So later in life, I started to deal with those type of situations better.
Nou, 2015, toen moet jy jou vrou. is ek reg op Loftus.
Ja.
Oh, blou vrou.
Ja.
Ah, dankie tog. And you went through, everyone goes through this, you know, and I can relate to some of the things you went through in your life. You went through a couple of patches in your marriage. Wat was die rede?
So basically, I'm the type of guy that brings my work
Yeah,
home.
you take it over here. So tackle your wife.
So maybe when I get home, I'm more focused like on the negative, and I tend to speak about like the stuff I didn't like during my day. I tend to speak that to my wife now, but back then I used to bottle that stuff up. I used to just keep it inside, and after a couple of years, actually, that silence started killing me slowly, and it really affected the way I play, the way I train, and that's why I needed to seek professional help.
Yeah.
To learn how to speak from my heart, and learn to talk to my wife, to communicate, because that at the end of the day, if you don't have communication in your relationship, it's gonna be tough.
I want to ask you a question, and I don't want to generalize this, but do you think, because as a fan sitting behind the screen or at the stadium and watching you guys play, do you think that in general rugby players are open to, you know, the depth of conversations that are affecting them, or even, you know, their partners or their family? Do you guys talk? Do you guys actually sit down and find yourselves in a position whereby you say, I want to release what's on my chest? Or are you just those asters that we see on the field?
I think every time for every situation, and there's times where you need to talk, and there's times where you need to be tough. And the times that you are tough is mostly when you play, and when the guys, the fans see us, and they see us as superheroes, and we need to be tough. And but at the end of the day, we are also human. We can also break stuff. Can hurt us. Yeah. So that.
It's good. Yeah, I understand. It's quite difficult because I guess you have to paint a certain image for your fans, right? But behind closed doors, you are also human, which is the most important part that you need to understand. Every single celebrity, personality, rugby player, soccer star, they have got a story in their lives, and sometimes it's not easy to show you that story. Now, talking about the challenges you went through, you nearly lost your marriage. And you went through a very, very tough time where you actually experienced a miscarriage, which is not the easiest thing. I mean, what was going through your mind at that time? How did it feel for you, knowing that one day when you woke up, you would have been a dad holding your first kid at a hospital?
That is actually, it's very emotional because, I must commend my wife. She's really a rock in my relationship, and she really pulled everything that I know into perspective. And so taking you back to that day, actually, when my wife lost the baby, I remember we were playing the Sharks on the weekend, and it happened on the Thursday, and the Friday I was driving in to Loftus, and I actually got into an accident on the way because I was so nervous, and I was so stressful and so emotional, and I was so tired that when I went to the doctor that morning to get checked up after the accident, that he said, listen, you're not emotionally fit to play this game, and you need to be with your wife. So I really need to commend the Vodacom Bulls as well for really helping me through that phase, because if it wasn't for them, then I don't know where I would have been, because they literally they helped me through everything.
Now, out of that, I can imagine this was at the peak of your career, right? When all these things happened. It's a bit heavy. I can feel your story. how did you guys manage to actually rebuild that union coming from such a painful and stressful time?
So, Mac, actually, there's only one person that really helped me through this, and it was the Lord Jesus. We really got into the Word, and we really searched for the Word of God, and that actually helped us to build a good foundation to where we are today. So I must say, to that tough time, I really held on to faith, and my faith pulled me through, truly. Yeah.
What you heard right now, does not end here. Dayan was suspended in rugby. His wife stood by him through so many other challenges in life. Certain things went wrong. Here's a man, he's rebuilt, he's back on the field, he's playing amazing rugby. And when exactly did he decide to propose and marry the girl of his dreams? All those details and how you can actually survive certain mental health roller coaster in your life, all those answers you're looking for are available on the Vodacom Bulls app. All you have to do is download the app and make sure to check out the full story on the app itself. Dankie dat jy tyd gemaak het, Dayan. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing your story and being human about it. If I had to ask you any advice for that young person or for that couple that's watching us have this conversation right now, what advice would you give for couples, for that little kid that has a dream down the street to become you? Because I'm 100% sure there's a kid right now that sees you as a superhero. What advice would you give?
So the advice I would give is, firstly, is to break down and assess where you are with your problems and with your health and with your mental health. And then you maybe write it down, and once you've wrote it down, then you can seek help and they can seek help and talk to the right people. Maybe it's a peer, maybe it's professional help, but it's important to talk. We can't lose men at the age of 40 due to cardiac arrest because of stress, because of high blood pressure, because of all the underlying stuff. So it's important that we talk and we speak, and it's okay to feel not okay, and then just start building on it. And for the kid on the street, it's tough out there. The world is in front of you. Just work hard and stick to your values that your mother or your parents teach you. And then at the end of the day, once you've made it, then it's important to give back and show humility and be human to one another. That's the most important thing.
Thanks a lot again, man, for making time. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks.
Dayan van der Westhuizen, watch him. Loftus Versfeld, we can't wait to see you boys on the field. Like I said, the rest of the story, it is available on the Vodacom Bulls app.
Mac Rapapali, Nights, Jacaranda FM.